So in today's video, we will be talking about the knife ability test quote-unquote curse. Believe it or not, knife ability test has its own chat filter, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys probably have never heard of this one, but it is kind of interesting to say the least because it leads to some kind of awkward situations sometimes. So in today's video, we will be talking about the chat filter. Special thanks to one of you guys who made a very nice list with some of the words that got changed by the chat filter. I've also did a bit of my own research and found some other words as well, so we have a pretty nice list right now of certain words that get changed with the chat filter. If you have any other words that also get changed, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll try to pin a comment with all of the additional ones that we found after, of course, the video is released. So let's just start today's video. So let's start with some of the words now, which is going to be quite interesting. The first one we're going to start with is cat, basically, so the name of the game turns into knife ability test, which makes a lot of sense. If you try to say this game is fun and you use a lowercase g, it actually turns game into experience. If you use an uppercase g, it actually stays the same, so good to know, I would say. So if you spell this game is fun like this, it turns into this experience is fun, which actually can be kind of awkward, to be honest, if you talk to a friend and you don't really like calling games on Roblox experiences. It's just a bit weird. If you have a friend named John or Joe, it actually turns into something else, a knife ability test. If your friend is named John, it turns into Shedletsky, which is pretty cool, to be honest, in my opinion. If your friend is named Joe, it actually turns into Mama, which can lead to some awkward situations. So let's say your friend is named Joe and we say hello Joe, it says hello Mama. Kind of an awkward situation. And if we say hello John, it turns into hello Shedletsky, so pretty cool, to be honest. If you spell please like this, it actually turns into domo, which I'm not sure if that's please in a different language. I would assume so. According to Google, domo means house, a house. So I don't know. OMG turns into oh my sights, which not really too sure about this one. And if you use XD a lot like me, it turns into I am suffering. The same happens if you spell it like this. If you use laughing out loud very often in-game, it turns into haha, which I think is very matching, so really good. Also, very many emotions were expressed by me during this video, so sorry for that. I am really bad with this. The haha was very, very great. The next one's a bit weird. If you say pants in knife ability test, it turns it into Hello Kitty pants. So I don't know about this one. This one is just hilarious. If you say to your friend, what are those pants? It says, what are those Hello Kitty pants? As you can see, what are those pants? What are those Hello Kitty pants? Very nice. The next two are quite interesting as well. If you try to say someone is getting banned, it turns it into bean. So no one is getting banned in knife ability test, everybody gets beaned. If you say I got a ban, it turns into I got a bean. If you try to say someone is hacking, it actually turns hacking into griefing. And if you say someone is a hacker, it turns them into skit. So definitely quite interesting choices right here. When you say I have a knife ability test, the have turns into has. So on purpose, it actually misspells the word for you, which is really bizarre. I'm pretty sure some people will try to correct you, and when they do, it actually gets even funnier. It's spelled has, and then they try to correct you. So that's very nice. Very, very good job. Very confusing. If you type in bra in chat and knife ability test, it actually just shows the icon right here, which is one of the emojis, which is pretty cool. And now we get to one that actually confused me as well at one point in time. I was talking to someone and I just replied to them with a yes, and the yes turned into yes sir, and it made the whole situation just extremely awkward. So thank you very much, knife ability test chat filter, for that. It was a very bizarre conversation afterwards. As you can see, when we just type in yes, it actually turns into yes sir. So yeah. Very, very, very nice. Oh no turns into oh no, so also kind of an interesting choice. If you talk about skins in knife ability tests, it actually turns that into cosmetic that offers no tactical advantages. So a very nice knife ability test. That's a really great description. I like that. That is fantastic. If you're being rude to someone and you tell them to shut up, which isn't very nice, it actually turns that into a very nice shh. So good job. I like that. That is very family friendly. That's pretty cool. I wonder if pets has changed into something else. It doesn't seem like it. So unfortunate. If you want to trade with someone in knife ability test, trade gets turned into fish, so that is kind of awkward. Because if you say, do you want to trade, it turns it into, do you want to fish? I'm pretty sure that's very confusing, especially once trading returns. If you try to talk about crates in knife ability test, it turns that into bananas. So I guess we just all unbox a knife ability test bananas. I didn't know that. If you talk about Pepsi or Coca-Cola in knife ability test, both of them get turned into Bloxy Cola, which I think is a very nice change. As you can see right here, both of them are Bloxy-Cola. On the other hand, if you talk about Coke, it turns into this word right here. If you talk about someone having a not so good looking skin, in this case ugly, which isn't very nice, it turns that into ugly face. Pizza is changed into waffles, which I think is pretty nice. I would really like some waffles right now. The word developer is turned into a person who does not take showers, and the short form def is turned into a sweaty person, which, interesting choices. If you try to say super knife ability test, it turns it into Uber, so kind of interesting. Sus is turned into suspect. Now this one is actually pretty evil. If you try to say to someone that the chat filter is actually changing your words into something else, this happens. Chat filter just turns up as KAT Curse, which is why I like to call the chat filter the knife ability test curse, because I think that's very matching. And if you say Marasmus, it actually turns into evil wizard, which is kind of interesting once again. So now, last but not least, of course, we have some developer names. So if you type in Lolaris, it gets turned into Lima. If you type in Firza, it normally gets changed into Duke, which is an interesting change. I actually misspelled it, so this happened. There we go, so now it gets turned into Duke. If you type in this developer's name, it actually gets turned into Zelda, which is kind of funny. 2hex turns into Indigo. Rasta My Pasta turns into Pasta My Pasta, which is hilarious. I like that one a lot. This one's probably one of the funnier ones. Trust Me I'm Russian turns into Tango, and one of the final ones turns into November, so yeah, pretty cool to be honest. This is the knife ability test chat filter, which I think is very confusing. It leads to some pretty awkward situations in knife ability test, but I gotta say it's pretty funny it exists, so thumbs up from me. I like this feature a lot. It's pretty hilarious. It led to some very awkward situations in the past, so yeah, I like it a lot. So I think that's going to be it for this video. If you know some more words, of course, that also got changed by the knife ability test chat filter, feel free to share them in the comments down below. I'll try to put a pinned comment with all of the other words that we may find in the future. Feel free to check that one out. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you, of course, in the next video. Bye, guys.